Hello guys, welcome back to Fully Painted Miniatures. My name is Drogs, and this is round 3, my third attempt at attempting to defeat the Rageborne on Expert Difficulty. This is Aeons End 2nd edition, doing a series playing through that, solo playthrough with 2 mages. For this attempt, I'm using Mist and Kadir. Mist is the dagger captain. She starts with a garnet shard, which acts as a crystal, or you can discard it to cast any player's prepared spell. And her ability is Divine Augury. Any ally draws 4 additional cards for 5 charge tokens. Her first breach is open, her second is 3 cost, her third 7, and her fourth 10. Her starting hand is going to have 3 crystals and a spark, and she's going to have an additional garnet shard, and then she's going to have 3 crystals and 2 sparks in her deck. Secondly, I picked Kadir. I did pick these 2. I didn't pick them at random last time. I didn't think it made a big difference. It's not like I got to use anybody's special ability in either of the previous 2 games, and these are 2 of my favorites. Plus, they're pretty. And she has an emerald shard, which allows you to act as a crystal and gain 1 power, or you can discard it to gain 1 life. It's one of my favorite starting cards. Her special ability is Otherworldly Gate. That player may return up to 3 spells from their discard pile to their hand, and may prep up to 2 spells to each open breach this turn. I love that special ability. You can fire off up to 8. You can prep up to 8 spells because of that, if you play it at the right time. And you can use that for either player. Mist's ability can only activate during her turn, and she can only give cards to Kadir. Kadir's special ability, she can use it on herself or on Mist during Mist's turn. She also has 3 crystals and a spark for her starting hand, and she's going to have 3 crystals and 2 sparks for her deck. And her breaches, the first is open, second is 3 cost, third is 7, fourth is 7. So, very cool. All right. Rageborne starts with 70 health. Gravehold at 30. And as always, I'm going to be playing with randomizers. These have already been shuffled. I'm just giving them a little quick shuffle again on camera. All right. What do we get? We get Searing Ruby, Sifter's Pearl, and Burning Opal. So 3, 4, 5 cost. Definitely cheaper than what I've been getting so far. I like that combo. That sounds nice. I always get the artwork for the Pearl and Opal confused though. They're basically exactly the same. It's just the Burning Opal's got little flames around it. Focusing Orb and Unstable Prism. I don't know this one. Huh. Basically, it's a gem. It's a 3 cost gem that allows you to double play a gem and destroy it. Good for getting rid of crystals. Or, I could use it on like a Burning Opal to gain 6 power late game. Get a bunch of charges. That's nice. Unstable Prism. Oblivion Swell. I was reading across the board. Planar Insight. Spectral Echo. I've never gotten this one. It's only costs 3. This is amazing. How have I never gotten? I love that card. That thing's awesome. And Chaos Arc. Okay. Oh yeah, with the Focusing Orb. Yeah, I like that store. That's cool. And I got a spell I've never gotten before. I'm happy. Very happy. All right. Bleeding Swell. Oh, these are the ones I had last time. I didn't pull up the old ones. So, Sifter's Pearl. Serum Ruby. Burning Opal. Sorry, I'll sit down. Focusing Orb. Unstable Prison. So, I hope you guys have been watching. Hope you've enjoyed my previous videos. And follow along in the series. I was just reading through the rule book. And it actually, I haven't quite done the math on it all the way out, but it kind of seems to me like it would actually be a lot easier. Where's my spider? If I played with 4 mages instead of the 2. So I may try that at some point. But I'm gonna put the. But if anybody has tried that, try playing. So there's rules for true solo. Playing with 1 mage, you can play with 2, play with 3, or you can play with 4. The game rules assume that you're playing with 2 mages. That's like the default mode. So that's just what I defaulted to. I felt like the game would be the most balanced at that. But if you've played some solo games for Aeons End and you've tried 3 player counts at like 3 and 4 or 1, and you like them better, you feel like it's a better balance, put it in the comments, let me know. So I could try to, show you guys a different experience. Or if you just want to see, if nobody else has really done it, and you want to see me play with 4 mages, why not? Sounds like fun. From the way it seems is, so the way the turn order deck would change is instead of having 2-1, like right now, each of these players get to go twice, and then the Rageborne gets to go twice. So instead, if you had 4 mages, each player would go once, and the Rageborne would go twice. But the Rageborne also gets a lot more of the basic cards, so instead of staying in tier 1 for the first 3 rounds, he would stay in tier 1 cards for like the first 5.5, I think was what the rules were. So he gets all of them, but so you would see like Banesire and some of those like every single time. But you'd also have a lot more, like you'd have 40 hit points between your mages to spread around. And it's not like the Rageborne gets extra activation, so he actually gets a little bit less dangerous, and you get more hit points. I think the main drawback, and you get more abilities, right? The main drawback is it takes you longer to get through your deck. So, when you buy a card, it takes a lot longer for you to see it. So you have to be even more careful about what you purchase and when. You probably have to be even a little bit more aggressive about getting spells early. I don't know. It seemed intriguing. Plus, I thought it'd be kind of cool. Like, it does go pretty fast through the tier 1. Like, maybe I'd try it with 3 mages. So with 3 mages, you get each player goes once, and then there's a wild card. So you get to pick 1 mage to go twice each round, and the other 2 just go once. But the other thing I thought would be cool with 4 mages is there's so many abilities like Mage's Talisman or the Sapphire that let you generate charges for other players. So if I had like 4 4 mages and they can all generate charges for each other, Well, you can stack all those charges on one mage. So if you had a really good ability like, there's the Federaxia has the one where she can cancel out like a whole turn. It's worth of damage to all players and Gravehold for an entire activation. That seems like something you could stack up pretty cool. All right, so let's go through the store cards. I'm really excited about the store. This is the best store I've seen in a long time. So to start with, we have Sifter's Pearl. It is a 3-cost gem. Just pause. If I know I bring the cards up quickly, just pause your video if you want to get a good read. It generates 2 power. Each player reveals the top card of their deck and either discards it or returns it to the top of their deck. To those that have stepped through the breach, the pearl shows the splinters of time itself. Then we have Searing Ruby. Sorry, I keep standing up because I'm used to doing that for videos. I love the artwork on this card. That's probably my favorite artwork of any of the cards in this. I actually really like getting the green jade, the ruby, and then the sapphire all up there at once. It just looks awesome together. So 4 cost, generates 2 power, gain an additional power that can be only used to gain a spell. It's an awesome card. Some used to use these to heat and light their hovels against the dark of the cave. Others know that within these gems lies a fire that can be tamed. So it's basically worth 3 power if you're purchasing spells, which it also encourages you to purchase spells, which I struggle with. Those gems are shiny, man. I like those shiny gems. Can't help it. All right. Burning Opal, 5-cost gem. Gain 3 power. You may discard a card in your hand if you do. An ally draws a card. Careful, youngling. You'll be wanting tongs to handle that. So that's another way to gain extra cards. Discard crystals and sparks. So then our first relic, Unstable Prism, 3 cost. Play a gem in hand twice and destroy it. So use that on crystals. Or gain 2 power. So it also it's basically an extra gem, even though it's a relic. Not every pretty rock is a means to wage war. Some must be cut and carved into more useful things. So I like this one a lot. I normally wouldn't take it with the Sifter's Pearl. But if I had like a jade here, so I had a 2 cost, a 3 cost, a 4 cost, and a 5 cost, ooh, that's a good combination. Then we have Focusing Orb. This is a great card, as always. 4 cost, focus any player's breach, or destroy this, and Grateful gains 3 life. Gian picked up the orb as if knowing its purpose. It was the last day she ever spoke. Then we have Spectral Echo. I think this is the last card out of the starter set that I hadn't seen. I have not seen this yet. I didn't know there was a 3-cost spell, so I'm really excited. I thought the cheapest was 4. It deals 2 damage, and you may destroy a card in your hand. Clear your mind, child. Drink in the void. I mean, that's amazing. To me, that's undercosted. That should be a 4-cost spell. I would buy this at 4 all day. So at 3, it's a no-brainer. Because that lets me destroy sparks, it lets me destroy crystals, and it deals 2 damage. It's basically an upgraded spark. But it also destroys cards. I love destroying cards. It's like my favorite thing in this game. Is to create that efficiency. Destroy it. You should always try to destroy your 9 starting cards. The only one you want to even consider keeping is your specialty one. Then we have Oblivion Swell at 5. While prepped once per turn during your main phase, you may gain 1 power. Cast, deal 2 damage. You may discard a gem. If you do additional damage equal to its cost. So this combined with a Burning Opal would do 7 damage. 8 on a 3rd or 4th breach. Many folks have made their fortune harvesting gems. The very breaches through which the nameless come bestow the stones of strange properties. Then we have 2 6-cost spells. The first one is Chaos Arc. Deal 3 damage. Deal 2 additional damage for each prep spell in an adjacent breach. So even the blind can see what little is left of our world. So this is a great spell too. Even in just one of your first 2 open breaches, this can do 5 damage if you prep next to a spark. If you have 2 on each side, now it's doing 7. If it's in the 3rd breach, something in the 4th, something in the 2nd, it's doing 8. Or is that right? Yeah, 8 damage. So nice little spell. That doesn't require you to discard anything either. So very, very nice. And then we have Planar Insight. 6 cost. Deal 2 damage. Deal 1 additional damage for each of your open breaches. So that does 2 damage base up to 6. And then it can get an additional point from the 3rd and 4th breach, going up to 7. She may no longer speak, but she sees much. For Jan. So the only other thing I would change here is I have 2 6-cost spells that are both pretty similar. This one gets bonus for open breaches. This one gets bonus for other spells prepped next to it, which requires open breaches. And I do have the ability to open them with the focusing orb. So I would normally not take these 2 together because they both cost 6. And then I have a 3 and a 5. I would like a 4-cost spell. Or a 7-cost spell, honestly. Because I do have some other options. So like if I have 3 mana, I can buy Sifter's Pearl, I can buy Unstable Prism, I can buy Spectral Echo. 3 options. That's really good for 3 mana. Or 3 power. At 4 power, I can get a Searing Ruby or a Focusing Orb. It would be nice if I could get a spell there too. So 2 options at 4. At 5 power, I can get a Burning Opal or Oblivion Swell. That's really it. I can't combine anything. But then at 6 power, right, now I got a lot of options. I can get a Chaos Arc, I can get a Planar Insight, but I could also get 2 Sifter's Pearls, 2 Unstable Prisms, or 2 Spectral Echoes, or any combination of that. A Spectral Echo and a Sifter's Pearl. So that's a lot of options. And then at 7 power, I don't have any 7 power cards, but then I can then combine a Sifter's Pearl, Unstable Prism, Spectral Echo with Focusing Orb or Searing Ruby. So that's not bad either. So the only thing I'm really light on is the 4 cost. But even then, that's not the end of the world because I can also use that to generate 2 charges. Right? So that's okay. It's worse when you have like 5 costs where you only have like 1 option. But yeah, I would probably change one of those to a 7 cost. And I would probably change the Sifter's Pearl to a Jade for a 2 cost. If I wasn't playing with randomizers. Okay. Let's get started. Oh, I should move these up. Leave a little room for my spells. So how's everybody doing today? Hope you're all well. Hope you're doing great in your life. Having good luck and all that. Lord knows we all need it. All right, Nemesis is going to go first. Empty board. Rageborne strikes. There was a breach. Thraxir was breach commander for as long as most could remember. To honor him, to this very day, no man or woman has been elected to the post in his stead. All right, so he's going to strike. Convoke. Any player suffers 4 damage. I didn't even put my life counters on. So I'm just going to have Mist take that. Kind of crappy way to start, but that's all right. And that gets shuffled back in. Now, he does actually lose that 1 fairy token. So the last couple times, he always unleashed to 4, and then I removed it and kind of didn't get that extra strike, but when he strikes, he loses a fairy token. So now he's down to 0. So not the worst thing that ever happened. All right. Mist first. She's going to prep her spark. Then she's going to generate 4 power and buy a Searing Ruby. Her next turn is going to be 3 crystals and 2 sparks. Nemesis goes next. He draws Eye of Nothing. To discard, spend 6 power. That's not going to happen. Power 2, unleash twice. Not the end of the world. He has 0 Fury tokens at the moment. I just don't see myself generating 6 power that quickly. Alright, we're going to prep Spark. And then she's going to generate... She can generate 4 power or 3 and gain 1 life. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to... Ooh. I'm going to buy an Unstable Prism. And then use Emerald Shard to give Mist 1 life. Start getting rid of these crystals early. And she's going to have 3 crystals and 2 sparks. And she goes again. Cast Spark. Then going to do 1 damage to Rageborne, bringing him down to 69. She's then going to use her 3 crystals, or 3 power, and open her second breach, and prep her 2 sparks. 3, 4, 5. And her next turn, she's going to have Unstable Prison, Emerald Shard, and 3 crystals. And Miss is going to go next. She's going to cast Spark and do 1 damage to Rageborne, and then use 3 crystals to open her second breach and prep 2 sparks. Overall, oh, and then her next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Garnet Shard, 3 crystals, and a ruby. About 2 cards each. But pretty happy. Yeah. Pretty happy. So Unstable Prism and Spectral Echo are both 3-cost cards that let me destroy my starting deck. And unlike the Bottled Vortex, they don't destroy themselves. They don't become useless either. Like Consuming Void lets you destroy cards too for damage, but once you destroy all the cards you want to destroy, it kind of doesn't have a point anymore. Like, you can't really use it. Unstable Prism still gives you 2 power. Spell Echo still does 2 damage. So it's basically an upgraded Crystal and an upgraded Spark at the end of the day. And they only cost 3. You know, I love those cards. Those are awesome. I would use those probably every time. Honestly, they're so good. Or I like them so much. So first, it's going to be Mist. She's going to cast both Sparks to deal 2 damage to Rageborne. She doesn't have anything to prep, but she's going to generate 6 power, 7 towards a spell. 7 towards a spell. So I will buy a Spectral Echo and a Searing Ruby. Very nice. Three crystals and 2 sparks. So one of my favorite things in deck builders is eliminating your starting cards and just having better hands. So like when you draw 5 cards and there isn't a single starter card in it, it's all upgraded gems, upgraded spells. It just feels so good. It feels like such progress when you get there. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. I already did her turn, right? Yeah. Yeah, I just bought the... Okay. First, we're going to move a power token from I have nothing. And draw a card. Unleash. Any player suffers 3 damage. First is going to add a fairy token. Suffers 3 damage and draws a card. I will have Kadir take the 3 damage, bring her down to 7. She will draw a card. And then her turn. She will cast both sparks, dealing 2 damage to the Rageborne, bringing him down to 64. She will then prep a spark. Unstable Prism will destroy a crystal. Gives me 2 power, 4 power, or 5. Now 4 power and a life, or 5. So yeah, no, I'm gonna take Searing Ruby and restore 1 life. Bring her to 8. Feeling pretty good about this round. 2 sparks, 3 crystals. Yeah, so the other game that card game deck builder that I like to play, it's just not a solo game, is, I have it down here. Yeah, Battle Wizards, Annihilation 2, Extreme Nacho Legends. It's got some really interesting, like, Ratfink style art. A lot of gross stuff, a lot of sexual stuff in there too, but really cool game. Lots of interesting cards, really tight gameplay. It's a lot of fun. It'd be a great, it's fun 2-player. It really should be a 4-player head-to-head card game. It's a perfect, like, beer and pretzels, have a few drinks and have a good time with that. Yeah. Anyway. Player 2, that's going to be Kadir again. She's going to cast her Spark. Do 1 damage to the Rageborne. Bring down to 63. I shouldn't talk and play. I get too sidetracked. She's going to prep both Sparks, and then she's going to generate 3 power. Buy another Unstable Prism. Next hand, Unstable Prism, 2 crystals, and Emerald Chart. Nemesis is going to go next. I have nothing activates. Going to unleash twice, adding 2 Fury tokens. I probably should have tried to pay that, but I don't think I ever generated 6 power, so it's alright. And we get the Provoker minion. 5 life. Gravehold suffers damage equal to the number of Fury tokens that the Rageborne has. Rageborne currently has 3 tokens, so no striking. And we're going to go with Mist. She's going to prep both of her sparks. She's going to generate 3 power by a Unstable Prism. I just don't see a lot of reason to grab a Scepter Sparks, honestly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would I rather discard a card and just kind of skip over it, or destroy it? They both generate 2 power. They both cost 3 power. I'd rather destroy them. Look at that next hand. Spell Echo, Spectral Echo, 2 Searing Rubies, Spark and Crystal. Already getting sexy. So I'm feeling good. 7 life, 8 life on my 2 mages. Rageborne's down to 63. Gravehold's still at 30. I've got Focusing Orbs to heal it if I need to. My economy's going pretty good. They each have a couple Unstable Prisms. She's got a Spectral Echo. There's a couple rubies. There's 3 rubies just right there. So I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, got everything pretty well in hand as of right now. All right. Kadir first. 2 sparks are going to do 2 damage to the provoker, dropping him to 3 life. Doesn't have anything to prep. We're going to use Unstable Prism to destroy a crystal. It's going to generate 2 power. We also get an additional 3 power, plus, which gives us 5, plus 6 for a spell. We also have an Emerald Shard to gain a life or for 7 power. Oh. 6 for a spell, huh? 2 Spectral Echoes. Thank you very much. And I will discard the Emerald Shard to gain a life for Mist, bringing her back up to 8. Unstable Prism, 3 crystals and a spark. Nemesis' turn. Provoker activates, is going to do 3 damage to Greyfold from the 3 Fury token. Bringing me to 27. It's not that bad. Unrelenting Ire, Unleash, adds a Fury token. If there are 2 Nemesis turn order cards, there are not. Unleash 2 additional times. Could have been a lot worse. Hey, here we go. Oh, forgot to do the strike. We'll do the strike first. 2 players. The players collectively discard the 2 most expensive prep spells. So that discards the 2 sparks. Loses the Fury token. Okay, now the Nemesis goes again. Provoker reactivates. There's still 3 Fury tokens. So that drops Greyfold down to 24. And we draw another card. Bleed Static, Power 3. The player with the most prep spells suffers 2 damage for each of their prep spells. It doesn't start for 3 more activations, and he's done for the round, so. Kadir first. Prep a spark. Unstable Prism, destroy a crystal for 2 power. And then I still have 2 more crystals. So that's 4 power. I will take a focusing orb. Yeah. On her next turn. Oh, wow. Interesting. 2 Spectral Echoes, Unstable Prism, and 2 Sparks. So I'm not going to be able to cast everything. But that's alright. I'll prep these, hold on to those, and destroy them the next turn. Mist is going to go next. She's going to prep a Spark. And Spectral Echo. She then has Crystal and 2 rubies, which is 5 power, 7 towards a spell. Is there any good way to use... Oh, yeah. Grab Spectral Echo and Focusing Orb. 2, 3. Oh no, she's got 2 too. So I'll be alright. So her next turn, she's got Garnet Shard and 4 crystals. And it is her turn. Cast Spark. Deal 1 damage to the Provoker. Cast Spectral Echo. Killing the Provoker. You may destroy a card in your hand. So I will destroy a crystal. And then I can generate 4 power. which to buy Focusing Orb. Next turn, 2 sparks, Focusing Orb, Unstable Prism, and a Crystal. I'm very, very happy with how this is going. I feel really good about this. I wish I had like maybe instead of the burning opal, like the sapphire. Just want something to generate charges. But I feel really, I love having Unstable Prism, Spectral Echo. I would use those every time. I would have those always in my deck, just by default. I think those cards are amazing. Alright. Kadir is going to cast Spark for 1, dropping Rageborne to 62. She is then going to prep 2 Spectral Echoes. Unstable Prism. I don't have any gems in my hand, so I can use it to generate 2 power and gain a charge. And then I can't do anything right now with the Sparks. So, I get to only draw 3 cards. Searing Ruby, Crystal, Emerald Shard. And she gives again. Cast both Spectral Echoes, deals 4 damage, bringing Rageborne down to 58. And I may destroy 2 cards in my hand. I'm going to destroy both Sparks. Oh, not discard. Destroy. I then can generate 3 power, 4 towards a spell, or 5, or 4 power, 5 towards a spell, or 1 less and gain 1 life. So I can't get a spell for 4, but I can get Sifter's Pearl for 3. What can I get for 5? Yeah. Each have 8. So that's 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'll get a blue again as well. No life. Alright, Nemesis' turn. Remove 1 power token off of Bleed Static. Draw a card. Awaken. Unleash twice and Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Or place the most recently discarded minion card back into play. I'll do that. Bring back the Provoker. 5 life. Nemesis goes. So remove 1 other token off Bleed Static. And Provoker is going to do 3 damage to Gravehold, bring it to 21. And then draw a card. Right? Yeah. Invoke Carnage. To discard, spend 7 power. Power 2, unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage. That player suffers 1 additional damage for every Fury token Rageborne has. There is but a single power among the nameless that can shatter Gravehold. Interesting. Alright, Mist is going to go next. She's going to prep 2 sparks. No. It's just going to make me take damage. Well, first I'm going to use the Focusing Orb. Focus her third breach. And then I'm going to use Unstable Prison to destroy a crystal. Gives me 2 power. Which I'll use on charge. Then I'll hold on to 2 sparks. As much as that pains me to do. And her next 3 cards are going to be Spectral Echo and 2 Searing Rubies. And she gets to go again. Ugh. I'm going to prep Spectral Echo. And then 2 Searing Rubies are worth 4 power, 6 for a spell. Clear Insight, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, shit hand. So our next hand is going to be 3 Sparks of Crystal and 1 Spectral Echo. Getting there. Getting there. Still feel pretty good about this. Less good than I did. Alright, activates again. So Bleed Static's going to activate and do 2 damage to Mist. Provoker's going to activate and do 3 damage to Gravehold. It's 18 life. Invoke Carnage, loses a power. And we draw a card. Unleash twice. And it discards the Spectral Echo. Oh, sorry, I should have read the card. Dispel. Unleash twice. The player with the most prep spells discards their most expensive prep spell. The words and gestures needed left him, and the breach grew dim. Alright, so that's going to cause 2 strikes. First, Gravehold suffers 3 damage, bringing me to 15. Any player suffers 1 damage. And Kadir to 7. That removes 1 token. And then I pulled the same card again. Gravehold suffers 3 damage, bringing it to 12. And Kadir will take that damage again. So they both are now, both my mages now have 6 life. Yeah. I wish I had gotten rid of that Provoker. Alright. I got kind of mixed up a little bit there, and I had some very inefficient hands. I'm going to prep Spark, Focusing Orb on her 3rd breach. Unstable Prison destroys a crystal for 2. And then crystal for 1. And I'll buy Sifter's Pearl. Or, I guess another Unstable Prison. Yeah, Sifter's Pearl. That's fine. 1, 2, 3. No. No. I don't want Sifter's Pearls. There's no point to those over Unstable Prison. Okay. Unstable Prison, 2 Spectral Echoes, Oblivion Swell, and a Searing Rube. And she goes again. Cast Spark. Does 1 damage to the Provoker. Gonna prep Oblivion Swell, Spectral Echo. May use Unstable Prism to gain 2 power. Swing Ruby to gain 2 power. 3 for a spell, so that's 5 for a spell. 4 in general. Focusing Orb. I'm going to hold on to the Spectral Echo. Next turn, Spectral Echo, Crystal, Emerald Charge, Focusing Orb, Unstable Prism. Jam goes next. Mist goes next, sorry. Just going to prep Spectral Echo and Spark. Oh shit, she can't do shit. Discard her Crystal. That's it. She's got to hold on to the other 2 sparks. That sucks. That's in the return. Crystal, Garnet Charge, Focusing Orb. And this should... I think that was the Nemesis first. So I'll just play it that way. Alright, Nemesis first. Activates. Gravehold's going to suffer 3 more damage. Bring me down to 9. I need to do something about that. Invoke Carnage. Activates. Unleash. Adds a Fury token. Any player suffers 1 damage plus an additional 4. Holy crap. So Kadir is going to take the 5 damage. Bring her down to 1. That sucks. And now Rageborne's going to strike. The players collectively discard the 2 most expensive prep spells. I'll discard Kadir's. That removes a Fury token. Oh, man. I'm not doing nearly as good as I thought I was. I thought I was killing it. Alright. Miss is going to go. She's going to cast Spectral Echo and Spark for 3 damage. Bring Provoker down to 1. Too bad I discarded Kadir spells. And it's going to destroy a Spark. Spectral Echo. She's then going to prep a Spark. She's going to use Focusing Orb to focus her 3rd breach. And then... yeah. And then she's going to use Garnet Shard to cast that Spark and kill the Provoker. But that wastes her last crystal. So she doesn't get to buy anything this turn. 2, 3. Next turn, Focusing Orb, Unstable Prism, Planar Insight, and 2 crystals. So what I didn't realize with the Unstable Prism, I like it. I still like it. But you gotta get them early. Because while it lets you destroy the crystals and for 2 power and then generate 2 power, it still is 2 out of your 5 cards. So its effect the first time you get it and use it on every time you use it on a crystal, it's like it is a crystal. You know? Because you're using 2 cards to generate 2 power. But it is eliminating those crystals from your deck, which is great. And once you are out of crystals, it will just be a 2 power. So I still like it, but it's not quite as good as I thought. I forgot about that first go around. I didn't realize that. So it's Kadir's turn. She's going to prep Spectral Echo. She's going to use Unstable Prism, destroy crystal. Generates 2 power. Use Focusing Orb on her 3rd breach. And gain 1 life. And then she has 2 power, right? So generate a charge. Two Unstable Prisms, Spark, Crystal, and Serum Ruby. Nemesis, nothing on the board. And we're going to draw Scorn. It's a 9 health minion. Gravehold suffers 3 damage or unleash twice. Need to kill that thing real quick. So I really liked my starting setup. Thing is, I don't really have a lot of high damage spells right now. I don't really have any burning opals. So I don't have too many Oblivion spells purchased. I think I have one Chaos Arc and one Planar Insight. And they're not doing that much damage yet. I think the most I can do is 5. So Mist goes first. She has one Planar Insight to prep. Focusing Orb. Oh, no. What's he's focusing on first? We'll open third breach, and we will prep Planar Insight to that. That sounds nice. And we'll use Unstable Prism, destroy Crystal for 2 power, and then have 3 power, which we'll use to buy another Unstable Prism. No, I will have her buy Spectral Echo. So her next hand will be Spectral Echo, Crystal, Spectral Echo, 2 Sigma Rubies. Nemesis goes first. Scorn, I'm going to take 3 damage to Gravehold, putting down 6 life, because just unleashing twice is scary. Oh, and the draw card. Cauterizer. 3 life. Damage is dealt to this creature. Minion, reduce that damage to 1. Persistent, any player suffers damage equal to this minion's current life. So, not great. Prep 2 Spectral Echo. Oh, I get to cast Planar Insight first. Deals 2 damage, plus 1 damage for each additional breach. Or each open breach. So that's an additional 3 damage, plus 1 for being on the 3rd breach. So a total of 6. Which is going to go towards Scorn. We'll then prep 2 Spectral Echoes. And then I have 2 Sigma Rubies and a Crystal, which is worth 5 power, 7 towards a spell. Chaos Arc. I'll keep her with Planar Insight. No. Yeah, I'll keep her with Planar Insight. It's fine. 2 of those. Alright. And Kadir. We're going to cast Spectral Echo. Deal 2 damage. You may destroy a card in your hand. We're going to destroy that spark. You're going to use Unstable Prism to destroy that crystal. Give me 2 power. And then I can also generate an additional 4. Give me 6, 7 for a spell. Seven for a spell isn't particularly useful though. So 7 in general would be useful. I would probably get a Burning Opal and a charge, but I can only do that with Oblivion Swell. And I don't have a 4 cost. I'll just get a Chaos Arc. That's fine. Alright. Interesting. Next turn, she's going to have Spectral Echo, Oblivion Swell, Unstable Prism, and 2 Focusing Orbs. So decks are finally starting to get curated a little bit. Or mostly curated. Rageborne still has 50 life, which is pretty high. 2 minions on the board. So if I can get rid of both those minions before the Rageborne's next activation, I'll be in good shape. The Greyfold's only got 6 life. Kadir's only got 2 life. So I do need to do something about that. Ooh, Nemesis first. Man. Okay, so Miss is going to take the 3 damage from the Cauterizer, which brings her down to 3. Greyfold suffers 3 damage or Unleash twice. There's still a card to be drawn. I'm going to take the 3 damage. I'm going to risk it. I might lose this turn just on this activation, but I have 3 focusing orbs here I can use to heal. I just don't want him to strike twice. Alright, Blood Cry. To discard, lose 4 charges. I have 3. Power 2, unleash 4 times. I definitely want to get rid of that. The cave will crumble and quake as it bellows to its kin. Alright. Good news. Mist going first. Okay. Just going to use both Spectral Echoes for 3 damage and 2 damage. Although those get wasted. 1 point for the Scorn, and the Cauterizer only takes 1. But I'm going to destroy both Sparks. I'm going to destroy Spark with my Crystal. I'm going to prep a Spark. I'm going to use Garnet Shard to cast the Spark, doing another damage to the Cauterizer. And I'm going to destroy Focusing Orb to give Greyfold 3 life. Bring it back up to 6. 2, 3, 4. Alright. For her next turn, she's going to have Planar Insight, Focusing Orb, Spectral Echo, Unstable Prism, and a Crystal. Ugh. Why'd you have to be? Okay. Any player suffers damage equal to the Cauterizer, which is only 1. Miss is going to take that. Both my mages are now at 2. Blood Cry loses a charge. Gotta get rid of that. And we're going to draw another minion. Venomite, 9 life. The player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage, which will kill or exhaust either one of them. Or any player discards a prep spell costing 3 or more. Not the worst possible card that could have been drawn. At least there was no striking, but man, I really want to get that under control before the end of this round. Okay. Kadir. We get Oblivion Spell, Spectral Echo are both going to get prepped. I'm going to use 1 Focusing Orb to open the 3rd breach. Oh, I should prep the Spectral Echo to that 3rd breach. The other Focusing Orb I'm going to destroy to give Greyfold 3 life. Bringing it back up to 9. Unstable Prison generates 2 power, which I will use to get a charge. I will then discard all 4 charges to eliminate Blood Cry. So that's 1 obstacle out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you curate your hands like this, like I've removed all 3 sparks and 6 crystals from Kadir's deck. That makes a huge difference in just the options and what you're able to do on each individual hand. So her next hand, for example, Searing Ruby, 2 Unstable Prisms, Spectral Echo, and an Emerald Shard. So I can gain a life, 6 power, 7 towards a spell, and I still have a spell in hand. Pretty good. That does 2 damage with no downside. And she's going to go again. Okay. So Oblivion Swell, I can use... Oh yeah, that's fine. I don't want to destroy any of my cards. So this is worth 3 damage. And if this, I can discard my Searing Ruby. Yeah, I'll do that. So let's use Spectral Echo. Let's destroy the Cauterizer. It's not efficient, but it is what it is. And then with the Oblivion Swell, I will discard a gem. I will discard the Searing Ruby, which will allow that to do 6 damage, bringing the Venomite down to 3 life. Then I will prep Spectral Echo. Emerald Shard will give me 1 life. And Unstable Prism will generate 4 power. So I can either get Focusing Orb, Searing Ruby, or 2 charges. 2 charges. See how quickly I'm flipping over my deck? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, already got that Chaos Arc, Spectral Echo, Focusing Orb, Unstable Prism, Searing Ruby. So I'm really able to just use my good cards. All right, and Mist is going to go next. She's going to prep Spectral Echo and Planar Insight. Focus Orb to focus her 4th breach. Unstable Prism will destroy a crystal. Generates 2 power, which I will use for a charge. So hopefully, in her next turn, Planar Insight, 2 Searing Rubies, Crystal, and a Spectral Echo. So hopefully, I didn't fully get it under control, but this Spectral Echo will do 3 damage, this one will do 2, this will do 6 damage. So, hopefully I draw Kadir first. Either of them first, but hopefully Kadir. Nemesis first. No such luck. Player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage, or any player discards a prep spell for 3 more. Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, okay. Unleash twice, any player suffers 2 damage. So Kadir takes both points of damage, and there's 2 unleashes. So that's 2 strikes. Let's see what the first one is. The player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage. That exhausts Kadir. It's going to destroy her breach. It's going to remove both of those. It's going to cause 2 more unleash tokens to appear. God. Does it remove all of her prep spells? No. Okay. So that removes 1. Yeah, I guess. And there's still 6 remaining. So 3 more. So it's going to be 4 strikes. It's probably game. Raise. Gravehold suffers 3 damage, brings it to 6. Any player suffers 1 damage. That's missed. 5 Fury tokens. It's really brutal. I guess I just didn't have enough time to curate my deck like that. It's too bad. Any player suffers 4 damage. So that's game. If Mist takes it, she's exhausted. Both my mages become exhausted and I lose the game. If Kadir takes it, instead of doing 4 damage, it does 8 damage to Gravehold. I have 6 life. So that is the game. So, third attempt, another loss. Rageborne still has 58 life. I still would have had another strike card after that. What would that have been? The player with the most open breaches suffers 3 damage. So that would have, either of those would have lost me the game. So, lessons learned. I would have, Sifter's Pearl was not used in this game. I also didn't like having 2 6-cost spells. Like I said, I would have loved to have changed Sifter's Pearl for Jade or for Sapphire. So I'd have a 3, 4, 5, 6 gem. So 2, 3, 4, 5 or 3, 4, 5, 6. That would have been really nice. Focusing Orb was great. Certain Ruby was great. I actually didn't even get a Burning Opal. I don't think I bought one the whole game. I love Spectral Echo and Unstable Prism. Oblivion Swell is not my favorite 5-cost spell. So I might have swapped that out for something else. But it was fine. I definitely would have swapped one of these out for something else. Either a 4-cost or a 7-cost spell. If I went 7-cost, it would have been Arcane Nexus, not the Destroying one. So I probably would have went with a 4-cost spell that gave me a little bit more utility. Like maybe Amplify Vision, so it helped me open up my breaches quicker. And like trade the Planar Insight. Well, either one for that. You know, something like that. I don't know. But that would have kind of negated the Focusing Orb since they're the same price point. Maybe like Lava Tendrils. Get those extra points and get those free sparks off. Yeah. Not the worst game I've played. That one felt better. It started. So again, when I was talking about the sweet spot, I started out ahead of it where he had 0 rage tokens for a little while, and I actually screwed up by just letting him get those extra 2 early. Because if I just kept him down there at 0, 1 rage tokens for, you know, significantly longer, I think that would have made a big difference. He just wouldn't have had the ability to strike in the first 5, 6 rounds, I feel like. And I would have been able to maintain their life better. I feel like I did really well. I love curating the decks, but that's a little bit of a carry tactic. And I just didn't quite get there. Like, I just got to where my decks were good. And I was getting close to opening, you know, another 2 rounds. I probably would have opened the 4th breaches. And I was getting Planar Insights and Chaos Arcs, and I was getting 6, 7 power every turn, you know. So that's the zone where, you know, I would have bought in a couple more damage spells because I've been turning the decks around so quickly, and then it would have just been straight charges and just using my special abilities and really hammering them. But I just wasn't quite able to get there. It took just a little bit too much damage. And I still had the ability to heal Gravehold by another, I'd say 9 hit points. But yeah, if I had been able to push that off just another round or 2, I feel like I could have stayed ahead of that sweet spot, and I would have had a good chance at winning. Not saying I would have won, but I would have had a good chance. And yeah, that felt close. I knew there was a couple questionable decisions I think I made early mid-game, and I think those cost me the game. And yeah, but pretty good. Feeling good. We'll see how it goes for the next one. Yeah, my dogs want to go outside. So if you made it to the end of the video, please, give me a like, give me a comment. I promise to respond to any comments any of you guys leave me. Yeah, I know. You've been a good boy. Yeah. Alright, guys. God bless. Yeah, let me turn off the video. I'll take you outside.